Well, the House is set to vote on the nearly $2 trillion stimulus package tomorrow, and it's all but guaranteed to make its way through the Senate and to President Biden's signature. So the question is, what happens after that? Will it be the fight over minimum wage? What about infrastructure? I mean, will the spending ever end? Let's bring in Republican Congressman Mark Green of Tennessee. All right, Congressman Green, I read an interesting stat. I guess Republicans offered 286 amendments, and the Democrats took 2. Is that what bipartisanship looks like these days?
Yeah, the unity that everybody's talking about, that's it. 2 amendments. It's crazy.
Yeah, so listen, it's going to happen. And then, of course, there have been whispers of $3 trillion in stimulus and, infrastructure. And let's be honest, after what happened in Texas, that's going to be an easier sell. So what do you tell folks now about all of this spending that I'm sure a lot of it you think is overdone?
Well, there's no doubt. We still have $1 trillion from the CARES Act that hasn't been spent yet. All of these, you take the stimulus checks to individuals, only 15% actually goes to spending. Most of it goes, is going to go into the market, really, because rates are so low. Powell just reaffirmed they're going to be low. And we're talking about the negative downstream effects of that. And one of the things that liberals often forget are the secondary, tertiary, and quaternary effects of something Thomas Sowell introduced me to. He's one of my favorite authors, talked about that. People just don't think about those downstream effects. And now they want to talk about a $15 minimum wage. Well, the downstream effect is automation and less employment, which puts people back on the government dime, which increases our debt more. So, it's a terrible cycle. Pretty much everything they're doing is it's just not making any sense.
And of course, we know that all of this is deficit spending, and then when it's all done, will come the promotion for taxes. And I just haven't read anywhere outside of Moody's, and I got to be honest, I think Mark Zandi's more of a Democrat than an economist, and I'm not trying to diss him, but I think all the other reports about this higher taxes point to a deleterious impact on our economy. But should we be bracing for that soon?
Yeah, so if you're asking me about their corporate tax increase, that just doubles down on decreasing the actual number of jobs that are out there. It also decreases the dividend. So while all this money's flowing into the market and the relative value of companies are going down because of the taxes, it just worsens the potential for a bubble. They just can't add 2 + 2 + 2 and get 6. It's really absurd.
Do you think anyone in the administration looks at the market? Chairman Powell of the Fed, he was working overtime. My man was sweating the last 2 days on Capitol Hill, trying to convince everyone he can contain all of this. Obviously, the market's not sure. They're testing him. I would suspect that the ECB and Fed does something really dramatic soon, like capping yields or negative rates. But do you think anyone in Washington is looking at the market as some sort of canary in a coal mine, or Treasury yields as a canary in a coal mine?
I think, unfortunately, what they're doing is they're banking on where the market is today to make decisions that are ultimately going to, hurt jobs in the future. So if you look at both the increased corporate tax and the increased minimum wage, those have a negative impact in the future on employment, as we've already discussed. I think they're using the market to help justify that as some kind of a confidence measure on their part. I think that's a huge mistake, Charles, and I'm very concerned about that.
Congressman Green, I always enjoy our conversations. Anyone that can reference Thomas Sowell is a friend of mine. Thank you.